Brothers and sisters, in this truth, you have to keep your composure. You have to. Never lose composure. Continue to quote chapter and verse. Slam it down the Christian's throat. Now, I'm at Romans 9:3, but before I do that, I want to go to this point I want to make. Now, side by side are two Google searches. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to read the one on the right first. Now, the first one I typed in on the right is kindred and kinsman the same? Is kindred and kinsman the same? Now, watch this. It says, yes, kindred and kinsman are essentially the same, referring to someone related to you by blood or marriage. Blood or marriage. Explanation. Kindred. The word can refer to relatives by blood or marriage, a group or related people, or even a shared nature or character. Character. Let's look at kinsman. This term specifically refers to a male relative. Kinsman is your relative. Typically a blood relative. So your kindred or kinsman was your own people. Now I want to go to the one on the left. One on the left now. I want to go to the one on the left and start reading it. Pay attention. In Christianity, when it says in Christianity, it's a theory, because it's not biblical. You won't find it in the Bible. So in Christianity, brethren generally refers to fellow believers or members of the faith community, emphasizing their unity and shared spiritual bonds. Let me finish reading it. Let me be fair. It's a term that highlights the idea. Look at the writing. Idea, the theory, the thought of Christians as a unified body, akin to a family or group of siblings. So I want to go. I got it to the point to where I wanted it, but I just wanted you to see up at the top. Spiritual kinship. Spiritual kinship. The term brethren extends beyond biological relationships to encompass the spiritual kinship among Christians. Ugh. You see, the only ones that would fall for that are these people here. Those that have no Bibles in their hand, those that look for tithes every week to be a blessing, and those that are in the song and the dance. These people, these are our people that fall for that, what you just read on the left. Let's go back to it. I'm going to read it again. It says, in Christianity, not the Bible, brethren generally refers to a fellow believer or to fellow believers or members of the faith community, emphasizing their unity and shared spiritual bonds. Is that what brethren means? According to the Bible? Is that truly what brethren means? No, it does not mean that. That's why we're Romans chapter 9, verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh. So Paul's brethren is his kinsmen. Let's go back. Kinsman. Let's look at the one on the right. The one on the right. Yes, kindred and kinsman are essentially the same. I'm doing this for a reason. Referring to someone related to you by blood or marriage. Blood or marriage. build a marriage. Now, Christians, they play this game. Now, I'm going to do this real quick. Let's do this real quick. Let's get the book of Genesis. Because the Christians, when you see marriage, I know them. I know them. Let's go down to Genesis 28:1. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Right then he told his son, don't take a daughter of the Gentiles. Here it is. Arise, go to Pandanaram and the house of Bethel, thy mother's father, and take a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. Take a wife of your own seed. So when they were marrying within their own seed. So don't try that, Christians. Please don't try that. Don't try that. Marriage was in your own seed. That's why in Deuteronomy. See, brothers and sisters, you got to realize what these Christians are about. Any little thing to sneak in, but no, we're going to boot you right back out. Deuteronomy 7:1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Don't show them no mercy. None. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Don't have your women or your men are not to marry those nations. Those men or those women were not to marry those nations. So what did that mean? That means that Israel married within. They married within the tribes. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his sons, nor his daughter shall thou take unto thy sons. Don't give your children to the heathen. That's why I love that. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Don't make marriages. In Israel, when they were in captivity, they broke this law. That's why it says in the book of Nehemiah 9. See, when they were in captivity, Israel broke this law. But when we go back into Israel being liberated by King Cyrus, then things changed. So I want to go to, I'm thinking it's the book of, been a while since I've been here. Let me see if that's it. I got to do a little reading, but here it is. Now this is Ezra here. It says, now, when these things were done, the princes came to me saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to their abominations. Even the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, and the Moabites, and the Egyptians, and the Amorites. So these are all people around Israel right now, Gentiles. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves to marry, and for their sons, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. God did not mean for their seed to be mixed, but when they were in captivity, it was. And now they're being liberated. They still have not separated themselves from the people of those lands. Watch this. Yea, the hand of the princes and rulers hath been chief in this trespass. So the men that are high among the people are trespassing in this way. And when I heard this thing, I rent my garment and my mantle and plucked off the hair. It was making him mad, of my head and my beard, and sat down astonished. Why? Because they were still keeping wives of other nations when it was law not to have that. They had been freed by Cyrus. They had been freed. And now they're given liberty, and they still want to break the law. That's why when you go to Ezra 10 and 2, and Shechaniah, the son of Jehiel, one of the sons of Elam, answered and said unto Ezra, we have trespassed against our God. We have taken strange wives. Strange wives are wives from other nations. God told them in Deuteronomy 7 and 3 not to take a wife from the other nations, but now they're being liberated. They're still doing it. It is a trespass to take a wife from another nation, and have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing. Now, verse 3, now therefore let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives. Put away, divorce them, and such as are born of them. Put them away, according to the counsel of my Lord, and of those that tremble at the commandment of our God, and let it be done according to the law. So when you're looking at Israel being free, they were to marry within themselves, not other nations. But when they went to Babylon, they start mingling with other nations and marrying their wives. And now they have been liberated. This is what Ezra and Nehemiah is. Ezra rebuilding the temple, Nehemiah rebuilding the wall. They're rebuilding the city of Jerusalem. As prophesied, 70 years, you come back and rebuild. Daniel 9, 21 down, all of that's in there. Christians do not want to go to this. Ezra and Nehemiah are the two least quoted books in Christianity because it shows a change in the atmosphere. It shows separation from other nations. That's not what they want you to see or believe. But that's what Ezra and Nehemiah is about. Ezra 10 and 3. Now therefore let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives, and such as are born of them, even the babies. They put away the wife and kids. The kids they had, they let them go. They separated totally from the nations. Child and wife. Both. According to the counsel of my Lord. The Lord is Ezra. And of those things, that's why the Lord is in a lowercase L. It's not in a capital L. It's a lowercase L. That's man. And of those that tremble at the commandment of our God. See, that God is with a capital G. That's God. And let it be done according to the law. So even though Israel married outside in captivity when they were led free, they separated themselves and start marrying within. So when you see, when it says, yes, kindred and kinsman are essentially the same. referring to someone related to you by blood or marriage. The marriage means marrying within your own tribes. So don't let them have you thinking, well, Israel married other nations. No, in Ezra they started to liberate themselves from other people. They started to separate themselves as their liberation had given them. Don't let them hold you. But the point is, kindred, kinsmen are essentially the same, referring to someone related to you by blood or marriage. Blood. And when we wait, the book of Romans, let's see what the Bible agrees with here. Romans chapter 9. Let's see what the Bible agrees with. Romans chapter 9, verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. Kinsmen, according to the flesh. Kinsmen. Your brethren was your kinsman. Your brethren was your kinsman. Your brethren was your kinsman. So the one on the left, in Christianity, brethren generally refers to fellow believers or members of the faith community, emphasizing their unity and share spiritual bonds. That's a bunch of crap. That's not what brethren means. Your brethren is your kindred. Over and over. This is the Christian. What you see on the left, it's meant to deceive. Yes, kindred and kinsmen are essentially the same, referring to someone related to you by blood or marriage. Boom. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. My kinsman. Your brethren is your kinsman according to the flesh. Not this crap they're talking about on the left here. In Christianity, brethren generally, that's your definition. Of fellow believers or members of the faith community. You will never see that in the Bible. That's a lie. Brethren is your kindred, your kinsman, according to the flesh, which is by blood. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ, my brethren, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. Brethren, kinsmen, Ezekiel 11. Ezekiel 11, verse 15. Here we go. Son of man, thy brethren, even thy brethren, the men of thy kindred. Let's go back up. Your brethren is the men of your kindred. Paul said the same thing it says in Ezekiel. We're going to keep on and on and on. And I know you brothers and sisters it's like a broken record, but these people comment. You got to see whether it's on TikTok, on Facebook. They don't seem to understand what we're teaching here. Anybody that is against this is a racist. We're telling you, brothers and sisters, racist, there's nothing. The best racists break God's laws. That's the thing. They're lying. Trying to get you to see one thing when the Bible says another. Son of man, thy brethren, even thy brethren, the men of thy kindred. Kindred. Yes, kindred and kinsmen. We read kinsmen in Romans 9 and 3. Now we're reading kindred in Ezekiel 11:15. That's why I said that. Kindred and kinsmen are essentially the same, referring to someone related to you by blood or marriage. Let's drop down. Explanation. Kindred. This word can refer to relatives by blood or marriage, a group of related people, a group of related people, a group of related people, or even as shared nature or character. Kinsman. This term specifically refers to a male relative, typically a blood relative. That's what the kinsman is, and that's what your brethren is. You're looking at it. It's not some group of believers. That's crap. Son of man, thy brethren, even thy brethren, the men of thy kindred, and all the house of Israel holy are they unto whom the inhabitants of Jerusalem have said, get ye far from the Lord, for unto us is this land given for a possession. You can see right here, brothers and sisters, in Ezekiel 11:15, that Israel and Judah have beef in this verse. They're beefing here. But we're not going to worry about it. They don't know the time period of this. They like to try to tell us what we're not teaching and avoiding what we're teaching. To explain it to their members, I would say. Son of man, thy brethren, even thy brethren, the men of thy kindred. Your brethren is the men of your kindred. We don't know. We don't know of anything else. The book of Esther. The book of Esther, chapter 8. Verse 5. And said, if it please the king, and if I have found favor in his sight, and the thing seem right before the king, and I be pleasing in his eyes, that it be written to reverse the letters devised by Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, Edomite, which he wrote to destroy the Jews which are in all the king's provinces. See there? All of the king's provinces. For how, now this is Esther talking, who was formerly Hadassah. But let's look. For how can I endure to see the evil that shall come unto my people? Or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred? Your kindred is your people. Your kindred is your people. Your kindred, her people was the Jews, the kindred. The Bible is clear on what the kindred is. We know the Bible. We Esther 10, and verse 3. For Mordecai the Jew was next unto King Ahasuerus, and great among the Jews, and accepted of the multitude of his brethren, seeking the wealth of his people, and speaking peace to all his seed. Your brethren was your people, your seed. So if your brethren is your people from your seed, what this definition come from? In Christianity, brethren generally refers to fellow believers or members of the faith community, emphasizing their unity and shared spiritual bonds. That's not in the Bible. That's not in the Bible. See what's happening here? Christianity is a blaspheme, or I should say a blasphemous religion. It's theory. Christianity is a blasphemous religion. It is the heathen. It is the heathen. The heathen, and here are their children today. John Hagee, Charles Stanley, Joel Osteen, right along with the Negroes, Juanita Bynum, T.D. Jakes, and Michael Todd, working together here. When the heathen get to trying to interpret the Bible, this is what you're going to get. Your brethren is your own people. Nations were not brethren to other nations. And so, again, brothers and sisters, I'm kind of stuck with this because I'm looking at Romans chapter 16. Romans chapter 16. Verse 20. And the God of peace shall bruise Satan under your feet shortly. The grace of our Lord, the Messiah Christ, be with you. Amen. Timotheus, that's Timothy, my work fellow, and Lucius, and Jason, and Sosipater, my kinsman. Let me tell you guys something. We know how to read the Bible. Every man that he named was his kinsman. It didn't say, and my kinsman. It says, my kinsman. Timothy was his kinsman. Lucius was his kinsman. Jason was his kinsman. Sosipater was his kinsman. The Bible says Timothy was his kinsman. Meaning what? Meaning what? Yes, kindred and kinsman are essentially the same, referring to someone related to you by blood or marriage. Watch this. The word can refer to relatives by blood or marriage, a group or related people, related, or even a shared nature or character. When you take a look, because we're going to show you this. Timotheus being called his kinsman. Kinsman. That's why I said, remember that by marriage, because I'm finna show you something. The book of Acts chapter 16. I know. Acts 16. Watch this. Verse 1. Then came he to Derbe and to Lystra, and behold, a certain disciple was there named Timotheus. There he is. The son of a certain woman, which was a Jewess, and believed, but his father was a Greek. Now, when they say Greek, we're telling you, brothers and sisters, it cannot be Edom here, because if it was, it would not be Paul's kinsman. You were not mixing kinsmen together. Esau is his own kinsman. Israel is his own kinsman. Those that kept the law understood there was no marriages to other nations. But the problem is, brothers and sisters, what they like to do when they use this verse is they like to try to take you away from the fact that there were Hellenist Jews in those lands. We've proven that. We've proven that. Let me see here. Give me a second. Now, just real quick, we're not here to force people to believe what we say, but we know the games of the tricks of the Christians. So, but we're not here to force people to believe what we say. The Bible is going to match. If we bring anything out like this, we're going to be able to match it. Grecia is Greece, home of the Hellenists. Greek and Grecians, the home of the Hellenists, Greeks and Grecians, however, are to be distinguished. Greeks are generally those of Hellenic race. The Hellenic race is the Jews who made Greek their tongue, the definition at the bottom. Acts 16 and 1. Acts 16 and 1. They knew Acts 16 and 1 was what? We're going to keep on reading. Acts 16 and 1, Acts 18 and 4, and probably John 12 and 20. Not probably, it was. But the word may be used to indicate non-Jews, foreigners, and aliens. Grecians were Greek-speaking Jews. Greeks were Greek-speaking Jews, folk of the dispersion from areas predominantly Greek. See there? See, this is the trick. The simple of them will sit here and think we don't know about Hellenists. They can't deny it. They can't. They can't deny Hellenism. It's history. So if I'm gonna be here and say, but his father was a Greek, I already know that it's not talking about the alien Greek. In other words, him. No. There's no way the Christian gets away with that. And we know, according to Romans 16, that's why, brothers and sisters, when we went into it, we're showing you according to the Bible what brethren is. It's your kinsman according to the flesh or by marriage of the tribes. It does not say that the other nation's father can be your kinfolk by marriage. It doesn't. That's not what it's talking about. That they're lying. That's a lie. If you are married into the Greeks, you're married into their family. You are having their seed. So Paul could not call Timothy. Let's go back. Look. I want you to see this. Let's get the book of Hebrews. 13. Verse 22. And I beseech you, brethren, suffer the word of exhortation. For I have written a letter unto you in few words. Know that our brother. So know ye that our brother Timothy is set at liberty, with whom if he come shortly I will see you. Timothy, brother. See what brother is the same thing as brethren. Brother is the same thing as brethren. Timothy was their brethren, their own people. Timothy was not. See, what they try to do is they try to make someone else. No, Timothy was a Jew born in Greece. He was a Jew born in Greece, making him a Greek. Because his father was also born there. You will not find Paul or anybody or any other calling another nation brother. No. You even have the Roman Esau himself in John 18. I like this verse here. Just get straight to the point. Pilate, a Roman, answered, Am I a Jew? Thine own nation and the chief priests have delivered thee unto me. What hast thou done? They wasn't calling each other thine own nation. I'm not no Jew. Thine own nation, meaning your nation, your people. Your nation is your people. Your own people. I'm not part of that. I'm not your brother. Look at this. It's a reason why, brothers and sisters, a big reason why these Christians make up their own thing. And that reason is, if someone knows that God is coming to destroy them, he's going to take people down with him. And this is the way he does it. He tried to make you think, see, if he lets you know he's going to be taken out, then you'll get away from him. But what he does is he pulls you in with philosophy. Brethren does not mean fellow believers or members of the faith community, emphasizing their unity and shared spiritual beliefs. That is not what brethren means. That's a private theology, or I would say that's a private just interpretation, I would call it. That he just slang out there, and people will bite off of it. They'll just bite. Oh, that's what it means to be brethren. No, it does. You cannot do that, because here, was he a brethren? Was he your brethren then? Come on, Christians. Was he your brethren here? Was he your brethren here? Look at the man with the whips on his back. Was he your brethren here? What about here? What about here? What about here? What happened? See, there's a prophet that saw something. There's a prophet that saw something. Habakkuk, or Habakkuk, as I would say. Either way, it's two ways that I know a lot of people would say, because most people, they always try to tell me what it is. So I want to go to Habakkuk 1. Habakkuk 1, verse 8. It says, their horses also are swifter than leopards, and are more fierce than evening wolves, and their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far. They shall fly as the eagle. Who is this eagle? We know eagle is a symbol of Rome, that hasteth to eat. They shall come all for violence. Violence. Who, when it says they shall come all for violence, who is the violent? See, brothers and sisters, it was the same here in Matthew. In Matthew chapter, see, the Bible repeats itself. The Bible shows you who it's talking about. Watch this. Matthew 11, verse 12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. The kingdom of heaven was Israel, and it suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. Who were the violent that took Israel by force? You best believe it, man. This is the violence. This is the violent. Him. He doesn't want to accept that. Caucasians never want to accept when we tell the truth about their forefathers. They're the ones that destroyed the temple. They're the ones that caused Israel violence. So if I go back to Obadiah 1, verse 9, and thy mighty men, O Teman, from Edom, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one in the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Why? For the violence. Again, when it comes down to Esau, when it comes down to him, Esau, him, Esau, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So again, when we see violence, it's always tied to Esau. Violence. Violent. Over and over. Watch this prophecy. And watch this. I'm just going to get to the point. Joel 3:19. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. Shall be. That means in the future. It's a prophecy. For the violence. Every time you see Edom, violence is connected. Violence. Every time you see Edom, violence is connected to him. Violence. The white man has violence on his name. Every time in this book. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. Violence. So when we go back to Habakkuk, you can pretty much see their horses also are swifter than the leopards, and are more fierce than the evening wolves, and their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far, which means that someone is somewhere else. Just letting you know. They shall fly as the eagle that hasteth to eat. And the symbol of the eagle was Rome. They shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the sand. Habakkuk saw something, but the Christians like to avoid it. They like to avoid what these prophets saw. He shall gather captivity as the sand. Then shall they shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the sand. But watch this. And they shall scoff at the kings, and the princes shall be a scorn unto them. They shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take it. Take what? What are they taking? When they heap up dust, what are they taking? They're taking land, possessions. Watch, but wait. Wait. Then shall his mind change. His mind is going to change. He shall pass over and offend, imputing this power unto his God. And this is his God, the Caucasian Christ. That's why it says his God. The one that is for violence has a God, and this is him. This shows you the white image of Christ, Christianity, right here. It's evident. Evident. That's why it says his mind shall change, and he shall pass over and offend. He shall sin, imputing the reason why he took you into slavery is because of the power of his God. That's Christianity right there. Joel just told you. It's not going to be from the God of heaven. It's his God. This God here is his God, the Caucasian image of Christ. these Negroes bow down to an opinion. See, brothers and sisters, when it comes down to it, the Bible, you can't look at stuff like this. In Christianity, brethren generally refers to fellow believers or members of the faith community, emphasizing their unity and shared spiritual bond. It wasn't there. See, when time passes, brothers and sisters, they're able to develop this crap that you see on the left. And they used ignorant pastors like these to do it. This is what they used. Ignorant pastors. Straight up. Juanita Bynum is ignorant. T.D. Jakes is ignorant. Michael Todd is ignorant. Following Caucasian Edomite philosophies. When Paul said in the book of Romans, 16 again, verse 21. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep sending it out on Facebook for you people. Timotheus, my work fellow. Now, people say, it says my work fellow. Let's get the book. I'm going to show you something. These crazy ignorant, these brothers and sisters, these people are ignorant. 1 Thessalonians. They try to pave the words like we do. Don't. 1 Thessalonians 3:1. Wherefore, when we could no longer forbear, we thought it good to be left at Athens alone. Greece. And sent Timotheus, our brother. Just because, and watch this, and sent Timotheus, our brother and minister of God, and our fellow laborer in the gospel of Christ, to establish you and to comfort you concerning your faith. Just because Paul called Timothy a fellow laborer doesn't mean it wasn't his brother, you ignorant Christians. There are more verses. We got them. We know how you guys like to say, oh, that's not what it means. Blasphemers. You Edomites are the blasphemers. You are the heathen that blasphemes the name of the Lord. And we see that now. Timotheus is still Paul's brother and fellow laborer. Your fellow laborer can be your brother as well. Ignorant. So when we go back to Romans 16, brother is the same as brethren. I'm telling you that right now. Brother is the same as brethren. It's no different. Timotheus, my work fellow. That doesn't mean it wasn't his brother. His work fellow was his brother, brethren. And Lucius, and Jason, and Sosipater, my kinsman. Every last one of those men that were named were Paul's kinsmen, meaning Timothy was an Israelite. Quit playing with us. You can sit here and talk about all those, the father was a Greek. Take that little common knowledge you got on. We're proving to our people that Timothy was an Israelite. Right here, kinsman. Paul, show us a verse where other nations are kinsmen. No, it's this not that's bullcrap. No. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brother and my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, not who are the nations. Don't make the Bible say what you wanted to say. Read it to us. Read it. And you can't. There's nothing you have in here. And see, these Christians have to make up crap like this on the left. In Christianity, brethren generally refers to fellow believers or members of. No. That's your understanding of it, which is a lie. which is a lie. We're not falling for it. Not falling for it. You were the enemy then, and they're the enemy now. A job and a car and to pay your life away in bills, that's not freedom. But people just, wow. Whoop. But we do know that Paul's kinsmen, according to the flesh, which is blood, are Israelites alone. Alone. There's no way you can get by. No way you can get by it. The kinsman or the kindred Son of man, thy brethren, even thy brethren, the men of thy kindred. Your brethren is the men of your kindred. Kindred, that's your brethren, kindred. Old and New Testament, as they would say. On the right, yes, kindred and kinsmen are the same. Yes, they are. They're essentially the same, referring to someone related to you by blood or marriage within your tribe. That is kindred. It's not some spiritual kinship. More from the devil the Bible speaks of. Let's be real with this, brothers and sisters. Let's be real with it. We don't have to play games. Your brethren was your kindred. Your brethren was your kindred. Your brethren was your kindred. For I could wish that myself were cursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, kindred, kinsmen, who are Israelites. The same thing that was said to Ezekiel, Paul mentioned. It never changed. Your kinsman is your people. And Timothy was Paul's kinsman. Now, what we want you Christians to do is we want you to prove what you're saying. Fellow believers or members of a faith community emphasizing their, that's vomit. Prove that in the Bible. Prove that the nations came together under Christ. All of them. You can't do that. There's not one place. There's not one verse you can do to prove that. You can manipulate a verse, but you cannot prove it like we did. Your brethren is your kindred, your kinsman, related to you by blood or marriage. That's your brethren. And don't let them fool you thinking that a Greek or a Roman can marry an Israelite and they can. No. No. Sorry. They can't find that. There's nowhere you won't find it. As a verse. All praise to the Most High. We're going to keep on putting this out there over and over. It sounds like a broken record to you, brothers and sisters, but, well, if it sounds like a broken record to you, I'm sorry. But you don't understand. When you begin to teach this book, people begin to challenge you. They can irk and poke. This is how I'm poking, reading. I need for you to show me that brethren is fellow believers or members of faith, of the faith community. That crap, emphasizing their unity and shared spiritual bonds. No, they're trying to put the people together. Black, white, Chinese, Asian. No, that's none of that. Your brethren was your kinsman, your kindred, as the Bible says, right here. My brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites. So if Paul's brethren and kinsmen according to the flesh are Israelites, and he goes here and says, Timotheus, my work fellow, just because he was his work fellow doesn't mean he wasn't his brother. We saw that in 1 Thessalonians 3:2. and Lucius and Jason and Sosipater, my kinsman. Timothy was his kinsman, his people, an Israelite. And with that, brothers and sisters, may God be with you. All praises. We're going to keep on doing this, man, until they move out of our way. They're going to be found liars, the enemy. It was already prophesied. All praises.